Jake Gyllenhaal is reliving the same moment over and over again. Jake Gyllenhaal is reliving the same moment over and over again. Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to RealScreenReviews.com. I'm movie critic Nick Yakabuchi, happily joined by my lovely guest critic, Debbie D'Angelo. Thank you for being here.
Could you tell we did not plan that?
And our next movie review is The Source Code, which opened in wide release on Friday, April 1st, 2011, and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Michelle Monaghan, Vera Farmiga, and Jeffrey Wright. This film comes to us from director Duncan Jones, who directed the previous Moon with Sam Rockwell, and now this is his sophomore effort, and he teams up with one of the newest and brightest stars. And now I will turn it over to my guest critic to tell us a little bit about the premise.
I'll try.
Okay.
Jake Gyllenhaal plays a character of Captain Colter Stevens, and he's involved in a program called The Source Code, and his mission is to inhabit the body of a man who is within 8 minutes of the end of his life. So for the last 8 minutes of his life, he's able to inhabit this man's body, and he does this to try to prevent an upcoming tragedy on the train, as well as future tragedies.
Yeah, like a terroristic attack.
Yes, and he has to continue to go back in at 8-minute intervals to inhabit this man's body, try to figure out what's going on to prevent it.
Okay.
And that's as best as I can do.
Okay, now once again, as usual, I will try to guess whether or not you like the movie, and I'm going to say you did like this movie.
You know what? I was in a very unique position. I did not know whether I liked the movie until the very end of the movie.
Oh, really?
And this is why I figured it out. Because I'm a very analytical left-brain thinker.
Okay.
And if I was started looking at it thinking, how is this possible? How does this happen? This is
I know exactly what I know exactly.
Then I didn't like it. But then when I figured out I needed to sit back and just take it as it comes and don't think about it too much and accept it, then I liked it.
I like this movie a lot, too. I'll tell you, the reason I think I like this movie is they did a lot with the 8 minutes. Like, I thought going in this was going to be, I don't know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Groundhog Day, where it's the same thing over and over again. But I really thought that, you know, what can they possibly do with this over and over again? But they took it in many, many directions. I don't think it ever really got stale. I don't think it ever felt stale. And I totally understand with what you're saying about the end, because the ending could have totally ruined this film, but it didn't. Now, did you accept the believability of what they were, the source code? Because basically the source code is math times math divided by analytical this and that and the other thing, and it comes out to be the source code.
That's where I had to just sit back and say, okay, I'm going to accept that premise because I don't understand it. But I thought that Jake Gyllenhaal brought a real likability factor to his character. I thought Vera Farmiga brought a humanity kind of aspect to her character, softened it up. I thought that was nice. I thought they were really strong performances, but the thing that I really got from this movie, the take-home message for me was, what would you do with the last 8 minutes of your life?
I wrote that in my notes more than a few times.
And then you realize that you don't know when the last 8 minutes of your life is going to be, so you had better really enjoy it.
Live every moment like it's the last. Now, I'll say another thing I do agree with you totally. I think another thing that drove the story is they made a good couple. You meet this relationship blossoms on the train, and as the movie progresses, it really reminded me of The Adjustment Bureau, because I believed these two people. I believed that they truly had feelings for each other. They truly cared about each other, and I agree with everything that you said. I thought it was, I don't know, I just thought it was interesting what they did with the story.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a point in the movie, and no spoiler alert or anything here, but there's a point in the movie towards the end where they do a freeze frame of the people on the train and their faces. And I actually thought it was going to end there, and I thought, wow, what a fantastic ending, a freeze frame.
Right.
It didn't end there, but I think I really would have loved it to end there.
I agree with you. I think one of the notes that I put was that it really teaches you to live life for the moment and don't really hold anything back, because there's a backstory about him making amends with his father, and I don't know, I really liked the movie. I thought the movie was well done. As far as a thriller goes, I thought it was a very good thriller. As far as a human movie goes, I thought it was a very good human story. How many stars are you going to give this? She looks like she's still thinking.
No, you know what? I liked it, but I'm going to give it 2.5 stars.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say I liked it a little bit more than her, and I'm going to say that I thought it was a solid story, and I'm going to say it's 3 stars, and it's I think it's well worth going to the theater and experiencing, but just not as good as, like to say that really go out there and see it.
Well, because I have that dichotomy going with my brain.
Like very, very systematic, very analytical, everything has to be just the way it is, or you lose a half star.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be 2.5 stars.
Well, Debbie, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And she'll be back again, I'm sure, shortly to review probably some romantic comedy, seeing as I got her for 2 adventure stories here. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, well, as always, we're going to end this as we always do and say, remember, people, we're not always right, but only when it comes to the movies. And thank you for your attention.